How's it going, everybody? It's Gonzo up your ass with Vendor Satanis and myself, Aaron the Pedantic. So, Venger, we are going to talk Christmas.
Yes, we are. Which icon is Discord?
Which icon is Discord? It's the one that's like, it's got like a blue circle with like a white logo in it. And I don't know.
Okay.
That's that one.
Maybe I can create a new one because this, yeah, I'm sorry if the beeping on my end is bothering anybody. But Aaron reminded me that it was probably that.
Curse Discord. Yeah, I have
know,
mine
right?
Mine on permanent. Oh, we got an echo. All right, let me see if I can fix that then. Just a second. I will grab a pair of headphones.
Okay. And I don't know how to turn the sound off on Discord because I don't want all that shit letting me know stuff. God, that's annoying. I don't know if I know how to turn this shit off. That's ugh.
Okay, that should do it, at least on my end. Okay. As long as it didn't try to change. Yeah, your thing is still going crazy.
I know. I don't know how to. I'm not logged into Discord that I can see.
Yeah, you have to. So if you go on your taskbar thing on the bottom right, you'll have to find the icon over there, and it'll have that one is just like white, and it's got like a little red circle, little red dot on the top.
Yeah, well, right. I know where the speaker is on my computer.
No. I mean, like there's a you can quit Discord on there, then it'll take it off completely. It'll take it down completely. Otherwise, like it's still active. It's just in the background, Anywho's, while you're trying to figure that out, we well, first off, I don't know. This is completely unrelated, but I'm just happy. I had a good mail day, guys. Print on demand is a beautiful thing. Look at that. Against the Giants, it was really cheap. Temple of Elemental Evil, really inexpensive. AD&D, great stuff. I'm really excited. But we're going to talk about Christmas today. Christmas gaming, making that Christmas spirit happen in a way that is fun and entertaining and engaging and all that kind of stuff. And there are a lot of different ways to go about it. I'm sure that Venger has some great stories to impart about trying to make that happen. I have played quite a few Christmas modules myself and run them as well. And they have been a blast. I don't know how most of you feel about that kind of thing, just getting into, holiday themed gaming. I don't know how y'all feel. How do you feel about that, Venger?
Yeah, if it's what's going on now, definitely use it. And as I've noticed increasingly, I got to turn the volume off on this. Sorry. There we go. Increasingly, I like to pull little details and little things, conversations I've overheard or that I'm having, things I watch on TV or in movies that I pick up, stuff I just see on the car ride to the office or wherever, lunch. You see things that you're like, oh, I could put that in adventure. And then if I'm running something that night, then I will just include that. Or if I'm writing something, even though I know that the person reading it is probably not reading it at the time of year that I wrote it. So it doesn't make sense that way. But even if I'm writing an adventure, I'll sometimes put a holiday thing in.
Yeah, I think that's just my general way of trying to concoct whatever. Whenever it comes to because right now one of my big projects, y'all can see in the backgrounds, this is a little bit of Aaron Schill. No, that I didn't do that artwork. That was I can't remember his artist name, or if he prefers, I don't remember which name he prefers. I'll put a link to his page, but I commissioned this work for an adventure that I wrote and am writing still, and I've done some playtesting on and all that kind of stuff. And basically, there are a lot of Christmas movies that you can pull from that are just insanely amazing for gaming. And one of them was a really, really big inspiration for this adventure, and that was Gremlins. Tell me you've seen Gremlins.
Oh yeah, I have. The last time I saw it was probably a couple years ago, and I saw it with the two older girls because they're ready to see like PG-13 type movies now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good. Seeing it again and with the kids. But then there's that part with I won't give any spoilers, but her dad, and then they tried to ruin Christmas, and for like kids that might be watching, then the wife and I had to do some maneuvering around to save the day. But other than that, yeah, it's cool. And then during this Christmas season, you're more inclined to put that movie on. Or for a role-playing game, you're more likely to run a seasonal themed adventure than something else because it is that season, so why not celebrate that? By the way, our two places, the rooms that we're in physically have almost the exact same color beige.
Yeah, I noticed that just now.
So it's like we're in the same house, but Aaron and I are in separate rooms.
That's a secret. You're not supposed to tell them we're in the same house.
Oh, I ruined it. But you and I were roommates on like a TV show.
Yeah, that's it.
Would our show be more like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or more like Seinfeld, or more like?
I'd say we'd have much more better chance at It's Always Sunny, because we're just being insane, more so than just being. I don't know. Seinfeld's shtick is it's, I don't know. I feel like just being neurotic and kind of abusive is more something that I could be good at than just doing what they do on Seinfeld. So
Seinfeld is very subtle.
It is it is. It's a good show. I like both
really
shows.
Good. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, my wife was an enormous Seinfeld fan, and then I got her hooked on Sunny, and after that, she's like, Seinfeld's okay, But okay, we do have some comments I do want to tackle. Let's see. So, Dolly Pop Milady, she says holiday gaming is awesome, and Condor DM agrees. It is an excuse to do stuff you normally wouldn't. A fun break, usually from the norm. That is incredibly true. So whenever I started writing this thing, you can see the art for that dude. I was on a humongous, serious, gritty kick. Like, I wanted my D&D to be as hardcore, darkest dungeon, just terrible, awful, all this kind of stuff, and just not very silly or whimsical or anything like that. I wanted it to be as low fantasy and gritty as possible. Mm-hmm. But then whenever I was thinking about, man, I really want to do something with this idea that I had all of a sudden about, a killer Santa Claus kind of thing. And once I got into that, I was like, man, I could bring some gremlins into this. Like, he has a whole squad of gremlins, and they all have these weird wands that do all kinds of random effects and can make you, spit out milk and cookies, to stun you, or, make you have an enormous, glowing nose that blinds you. It's just, or it can explode in their faces because they're gremlins and bad stuff happens to them.
You could do a Die Hard thing too.
Yes, you could. That is indeed a Christmas movie. So Die Hard is a dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
in some ways, it could be a dungeon crawl. What are you thinking about whenever you think about doing stuff with Die Hard?
Well, it depends if you want like a full blown encounter or maybe multiple encounters involving that, or if you just kind of want like a one shot, quick homage, like just reference, just a cameo of that thing.
I could see. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. You could do. I mean, when I think of Die Hard, the one image I get is the Hans Gruber guy going like, "Oh," because he's falling. The other one would probably be in that ventilator shaft. The Die Hard guy or John McClane is like looking like, "Oh," and he's got the lighter, and it's So you could just put like little things like that. Like if you have this magic item, the scepter, something like that, and if you look deeply into the jewel, then maybe that's what you saw. You saw John McClane like giving his famous line of, come up to the coast and do whatever, something like that.
Yeah. I'm thinking it would be really cool to have this. There was this idea that I had heard about, and I can't reference where it was from. It wasn't from me, but basically there was this elevator that you could get on, this lift, and whenever you push the little buttons, whenever you get out, you're going to be in some kind of completely different plane of existence almost. It's not too dissimilar from the concept behind, if you ever seen The Nightmare Before Christmas, you got the doors in the trees, that go to the different seasonal places or whatever. But I could totally see, you being in your fantasy world or whatever, doing your thing. And then you open whatever door, or you get out of the lift, and all of a sudden you're in Nakatomi Plaza, and it's under siege from the terrorists and all that kind of stuff. And then you could just go nuts. What happens whenever your dwarf gets an AK-47 or an AUG assault rifle? That kind of thing, some grenades, and, is dealing with bank robbers. I mean, but then again, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, what the hell are they going to do with cash money whenever, they grab their loot and go back into their normal places? They're not gonna be able to do crap with that. I'll have to get some bullion or something, But Die Hard, the thing that made me think Die Hard is a dungeon crawl is actually, a lot of people probably don't know this, but there was a Die Hard PlayStation 1 video game way back in the day. And it was basically like you would go up each floor of the entire building, and it's just full of bad guys that you shoot. And that's all you do the whole time. And it's kind of like labyrinthine and all that kind of stuff. So I was just thinking, that's kind of why that comes anytime you have a skyscraper. I think dungeon crawl, or at least potential for one, especially if your elevators are out. Then you're dealing with stairwells and all kinds of stuff.
Because like a wizard's tower is a dungeon. It's just a different
Indeed.
Yeah.
Malaki says, Christmas themed game, all you want, just no Christmas music. Condor says some music before the session starts, and tied into what's happening in the game. And then Malaki, and I completely understand this. He says, work 20 years in retail and your opinion on Christmas music will change. I don't know if you ever worked in retail, Venger, but there was a time that I worked for a very popular, seller of items for a pretty, several years while I was getting my college degree and all that kind of stuff. And I'll tell you, by the time you even get like even close to Christmas, you're just ready for that music to die. You're just just want it to go. And it's very unfortunate because I love Christmas music. Like now that I'm not working retail, I'm like, yeah, I get into it, but it will kill your spirit.
You know what? I don't remember being like subjected to it so much that I was just like, oh no. But I have worked a few retail jobs, and I must have heard it like day in, day out around Christmas time. I just don't remember that happening, I guess. So, but yeah, I mean, why not play some Christmas music even during the session? Maybe you can find an appropriate place based on the adventure's theme, or the PCs are traveling in their starship, and you put on the radio, and this is what it sounds like. Or maybe you could play Christmas music during the combats. That'd be fun.
That would be interesting. I would think that if I was going to be incorporating, Christmas music into whatever we're doing with the role playing, I'd probably try and find some movie that makes use of, like an original score that sounds Christmassy, that has no words for the most part. That way it's not very obtrusive. If there's any kind of lyrics or anything like that, I'm usually kind of like, I usually don't want that playing. I like more ambiance or, just like instrumental, basically. That's where I like to go with all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Condor DM says that, yes, Christmas excuses, or is an excuse for Gonzo is perfect. Venge needs to do a holiday Gonzo add-on for Chult.
I would back the shit out of that.
That'd be fun. Actually, in one of the adventures I kickstarted, I must have been writing it around this time last year, because I did put there's like an interior of this creature, godlike creature. So some of the adventure is set there, and there's this basically an organic room of many, and one of them has Christmas stuff in it. I put like some reindeer and like an elf that you can make like a sort of familiar, and there's a tree with presents, and I think it was snowing, because for that particular room I dialed the Gonzo up to 11, and Christmas was on my mind, and so I just filled that particular room up with Christmas stuff. And it didn't really have a reason, which is one of the fun things you can do with Gonzo. You don't need a reason for everything. Some stuff should have a reason, obviously, but you don't need to reason everything out. Some things could just be a mystery. Some things are just weird just because, and some things are demanded because it is a Gonzo setting.
Yeah.
So if things don't happen every once in a while, they're weird and wild and beyond the pale, then in a way you're not living up to the Gonzo expectation. You're sort of like cheating yourself and the players with the Gonzo. So sometimes you do have to turn it up to 11, or else you failed.
That is true. Yeah, I would love to see like I would love to see your take on just like a straight up holiday module. Maybe someday we'll get that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a few different ways you can go. You can go like into the past, like more pagan, like before modern Christmas, I guess. If you were going to focus on Christmas, I mean, you can do the same thing with Halloween.
Oh yeah.
What was that? What were those holidays like in the Middle Ages or the Renaissance, or in the early 1900s, or something like that? And you could explore it that way, or you could do like a modern day take. I mean, you could really, Gonzo it out, which is what I was just talking about. Or you could just add little touches, I guess. to a normal adventure. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways you could approach it. I'm not sure if I was in a Chult kick, as I am now, then everything I did Christmassy would probably be Gonzo. So I would take that idea and one or two other ideas, and I would make it darker, and I would twist it around, and then sprinkle on some post-apocalypse and Lovecraft, and let simmer and bake and whatever, and there you go.
Yeah. Here's kind of what I'm thinking. So one thing, so I mean, I kind of have my thing that I'm wanting to do, like that I'm working on now. But if I was to do another one, what I would probably want to do is I would like to use a bit of influence from Futurama's robot Santa Claus. I don't know if you're familiar.
A little bit. I think I've seen it.
I mean, the whole thing is that version of Santa Claus believes that everybody is naughty and is trying to punish them. And is like, just gives them like terrible gifts, blows their houses up and all this kind of stuff. And, like the whole message in like those Futurama episodes is basically, he brings you together through fear. Everybody in the family gets together and huddles in fear, instead of, like the whole thing about, oh, we're caring and, we're happy because we're giving to each other and all that kind of stuff. I would like to explore that, where robot Santa Claus is just literally just this pest, like a regional pest, like you would consider a dragon or something like that. That's demanding sacrifices and things like that. Except for in this place, Santa doesn't want anything from you. He's already getting what he wants. So what he's getting is he's having his henchmen, which, you could make the elves in his workshop is, distorted and wrong and, Krampusy as you want. You could just make it dark and gritty. You can make it absurd and, make them kind of like I don't know, Oompa Loompas, like just complete madness. And, they're off like stealing everything good from everybody, and then, just pestering people, doing all kinds of atrocities, going back to the workshop and then making horrible gifts and things like that. And then delivering, people's remains or, just something like that that's going to make the player characters be like, we need to stop this somehow. But there's also, especially if they're jacking stuff from, especially from like the wealthy people or something like that in the nearby civilization, then that means there would be a hoard of treasure to go after, so that way you've got that incentive if you're using XP with gold pieces and stuff like that,
Well, here's my thoughts on that. Two words: Santa Dragon.
Santa Dragon. Oh yes.
One of us or both of us should write something featuring a Santa Dragon, or at least the encounter would feature a Santa Dragon, if not the entire spine of the adventure itself.
And it should be for Crimson Dragon Slayer D20, because
ages 4 and up.
Ages 4 and up. I mean, we could make it ages 4 and up, but why would we pass a perfectly good opportunity to be?
Because and then some of the things that we could write about were so out there and so depraved that the 4-year-old, it would just go right over their head.
Yeah, well, you could do that, or you could. There was an approach that Jeff Rentz did with Broodmother Sky Fortress that I thought was really interesting. Where basically, you've got in that the giants, but the question is, what are the giants? And the giants there, they could be half shark, half elephant. It's kind of like how they are. It could be that they're like. What is it? Like I want to say Jack Kirby style gods, like space gods. I'm not a big comic guy, but I know what it looks like. I just can't remember the dude's name.
Like Galacticus?
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Okay. That's what I was envisioning in my head when you said that. I was envisioning like,
exactly.
I'm not super familiar. I was really into comic books and stuff like that when I was in grade school and middle school. But by the end of high school, I kind of phased out of that. So, but I know some of them.
Yeah. And that's something that could be done. I feel like that's a really interesting way to do things, because then you could conceivably just be like, here's something that really you can really easily like reflavor stuff. And, you could use that as kind of like a way to tweak, the level of, I don't know, maturity and stuff like that. That would be an interesting approach, I think. I don't know how much I'd want to go into it, but could be just like, it'd be like just giving it a different coat of paint, some different themes and stuff like that could be involved. But yeah, Santa Dragon is going to have to happen. It's going to have to happen.
Yeah, everybody should tweet during the show with the hashtag Santa Dragon.
Yes. Jim Leiden, good to see you. I don't think I've seen comments from you before. Says Santa hires the party to go out and eliminate Rudolph because he's got rabies. Well, sometimes you got to put one down. It's a shame, but you don't always have a cleric handy to cure disease. So sometimes it's just what's got to happen.
Candy cane of cure disease.
Candy cane of cure disease. There we go.
Or candy cane of cure light wounds.
There you go. Yeah. Let's see. Fairy Tale of New York ain't bad. I'm not familiar with that. Are you familiar with that?
Like New York, but envisioned by the CW?
Let me see. Oh, it's a song. Okay.
Oh,
so it's a Christmas song. Okay. Blaine says Christmas music is triggered by some trap the players fail to overcome to teach them to try harder next time. That's whenever the sanity rolls have to commence, is whenever the Christmas music is triggered.
Yes.
Dan says we need to sing that song and get this channel super duper demonetized. Well, okay, so I'm not monetized yet. Well, at the moment anyway, because they won't send me my stupid pin in the mail for me to verify my address for me to get that money. So they're jerks. Screw them. Can't get super demonetized. And I'm already super demonetized at the moment.
That's right.
Home Alone score. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Actually, there's a lot of
traps you could do with that movie. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. But as far as just music goes, but yeah, a Home Alone setup would be interesting. You could totally turn that on its head. You could have where you're the burglars, and you have this. I don't know, this snot-nosed kid. You could have a snot-nosed kid. You could have it be like maybe a giant snot-nosed kid, or an alien snot-nosed kid, or something. You could just up the
or Santa Dragon.
Or Santa Dragon. Yes, Santa Dragon fits into all of the holes.
Yes,
just like chimneys. Oh snap! A dragon that can fit through a chimney. I mean, if it can fit through a chimney, then what hope do any of us have of getting away from that thing? Let's see. Dolly Pop says, you fall through a trapdoor in the dungeon. It is pitch black, softly at first, but with growing intensity. You hear voices around you whispering, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells. Malaki says, and you hear bells ringing softly at first and rising in volume with the voices. The beat of the jingling matches up with the voices. What in the hell is going on in our comments section? Glowing eyes begin to appear along with red lights scattered throughout. Horns come into focus and the eyes turn more bloodthirsty as you realize those are reindeer with glowing red noses and a taste for flesh. Not even kidding. The module that I wrote has undead reindeer in it. So like that's kind of oh, but you already mentioned, so we were talking about rabies though. So I mean that's a little bit different. But I got mine's got undead ones. K5K says, Xmas adventure idea. Santa manages to deliver presents around the world in one night by enslaving alternate dimension elves to make all the toys. Objective, save the elves, kill Santa. Oh, I mean Satan. No, I had it backwards. Satan, I mean Santa. Okay, there we go.
I just thought something. One of the things that gives a bigger audience of receptive people to a holiday themed adventure is that some people like it sincerely. They're authentically enjoying it, and then some people will enjoy it ironically. They'll enjoy it because they think it's dumb, and they're just doing it ironically.
Okay.
And then you draw both of those in. The people that are doing it because they think it's stupid, and then the people that are doing it because they're enjoying it because they think it's cool, like for real. And the people in the middle, you're not going to upset them. At most, they'll just be like, whatever. So it's kind of a win-win.
That's true. But what you said just made me think about something. I tend to put these things together mostly, I guess, for the enjoyment of the people that I guess are enjoying it ironically in a way. Because I tend to screw around with the concepts rather than taking a more wholesome approach, I guess. So like I'm wondering, what would it be like to actually try and run it with no, this is actually kind of a wholesome Christmas module or whatever. Like there's some kind of wholesomeness in there, like you're doing goodery. I'm curious about what that would look like. I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot easier for me to do the Halloween ones because Halloween, you're leaning into like horror and stuff like that, and horror is really easy to build tension and all that kind of stuff. I feel like with a Christmas one, I just.
Well, I mean, you gotta really dig deep in the beginning, I think, and then kind of figure out what this adventure is about and what you're trying to do with it. What's the essence of it? And so if you're doing Christmas, then you'd be like, are you trying to tap into the spirit of Christmas? Joy for all mankind. Is it about gift giving and being, generosity and charity and things like that? Or more darker, like Germanic type of Christmas lore, which has like the Krampus. So you got Krampusnacht and Black Peter, I think, like beating all the bad kids with reeds and stuff like that. So the good and virtuous are rewarded, and the wicked are punished. That is like a base pillar type theme that you could draw out of your Christmas holiday adventure, and then once you know that, then you can start building the rest of the adventure off that skeleton.
That's a good point. I'm now thinking about, so you could have, like a Whoville style adventure where the Grinch has, taken their Christmas away, and then you and your party have to go and retrieve it. And maybe the place is full of all kinds of traps and horrors and things like that. I know that's completely off the whole. Well, I mean, I guess it could end up being kind of wholesome in the end, because you could kind of work it out. I feel like wholesome is one of those things that is incredibly dependent on social encounters and things like that. And social encounters can be difficult to deliver a very, I don't know, like a quick resolving, not quick resolving, like a tension that can be easily resolved in a one shot. Because I feel like if you're going to do like a holiday thing, it really needs to be like a one shot.
Yeah. Or one like bottle episode of the campaign. Yeah. You probably wouldn't want to extend it anymore, because then you get the same effect for the retail people that have to listen to the Christmas music.
Yes.
From December 1st until, if you're lucky, until December 26th.
Yeah. Yes, that's a solid point. So I guess really you need to think in terms of punchy, maybe depending on how long your sessions are. My sessions are usually 3 to 4 hours, just because, we get off work. We get off work. It's already, going to be like 6:30 at night before everybody can make it. And, we've got work in the morning, so we don't want to be, people will have to drive home and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to sustain that level of awesomeness for more than 4 hours. That's like Sting trying to make his orgasm last like half a dozen hours. Like, bro, 4 max. Like, don't try to push it. You'll just hurt yourself.
Yeah. And like this kind especially. So like, I'm really very heavily wanting to do this whole thing, AD&D right now. And I could, if I had the time, I could totally see myself, having a game that's, we're playing 6 hours, or something like that. We might take like an hour break, or maybe not an hour break, probably like 30 minutes or something like that. Maybe even 8 hours, just play like the whole damn day. I could see that happening with something like that. But whenever you're talking about like a very specific theme, and you're really trying to capitalize on the culminating emotions that people have because of that time of year and all that kind of stuff, then, it's kind of a different story. It is kind of going to be like this big explosive event is what you're going to go for, rather than, something that's, just slowly catching a boil, that kind of thing. So that is a damn solid point. So you really have to keep it light. That was, I'm coming to a realization about the module I've been working on is maybe because I was thinking about adding to it, and I'm like, oh, but it's already long enough as it is, so I'm gonna have to, let me try and catch up on some comments. Okay, all right. T-shirt.
Reading. Oh, go ahead.
T-shirt says, oh my God, it's Aaron and Vendra on the same show. Yes, it is.
We do this every month.
Every month. Yes.
Yeah. This is like our 10th show.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. So we've been doing it for a while. The universe reels from the awesome. I don't know about that. But we have a good time. Malaki says, now I'm thinking of one of the only 2 Christmas songs I listen to every year, The Night Santa Went Crazy by Weird Al. I like Weird Al, but I haven't listened to enough of his stuff, so I don't know that song.
Is that an old song or a newer one?
I'm sure it's an older one of his.
I don't remember that either, and I was an unbelievable Weird Al fan, and like from like 1985
I'm looking it up
to 1989. For those 4 years, I was just like
1996.
It was like, okay, so yeah, that was after the time that I was listening to him. Those 4 years, though, I was like super into. Just the very cliche type nerd stuff. Weird Al Yankovic and Monty Python and Doctor Who. I read comic books. All that stuff. So yeah, pretty cliche, but
it's awesome stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I don't necessarily listen to or watch that stuff anymore on a regular basis, but yeah, that stuff was awesome back then.
Mm-hmm. Yep. See, I was a big fan. Big fan. I kind of liked a little bit of ICP, which
Okay.
I don't think I can really stand them now. But I liked a little bit of that. Anything that was just kind of Nordy.
I just started rewatching Workaholics
I haven't seen that.
a couple months ago, and I just finally got to the last disc of the last season, like the other night. So for the past couple months, I've been rewatching Workaholics. Some episodes I missed way back then, but that is a great show. If you guys at home haven't seen Workaholics, I recommend that. And actually, somewhere around like the second season, I think just after the second season, I met those guys in Madison, Wisconsin. I was taking a lunch break from this job I was doing over the summer, and I went to Five Guys Burger and Fries, and I see this dude waiting in line up in front of me. I've only seen him from the back, but he looks kind of familiar. I've seen him somewhere, but I can't place it. But it was from the back, so I'm just like, whatever. Thinking about what kind of burger I want, and then I look over and I see this guy with this crazy hair. Oh, so the guy I saw online was Adam, and then the guy with this crazy hair, and then he turned, so I saw his face. I'm like, oh my god, that looks just like. And then I looked at the guy in front of me. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I started to look around the restaurant, and then I saw Durs, and I saw Wonky Eyed Pete, or whatever his name is. And I'm like, oh my God, the guys from Workaholics are here. And I was freaking out. And so I shook their hand. I got a picture with all of them. I'm sure you can find it online. I could pull it up and put it on the blog again sometime soon. But so I got a picture with them. I talked with them just for very briefly while we were still standing in line and after I recognized them. And it was just really cool 5-minute conversation. And even Adam said before we parted ways, he was like, right after this, I've got to catch a plane, and I've got this big bottle of vodka that I'm not going to drink it now, and I'm not going to take it with me. So do you want it? Like, here you go, man. I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah. And I didn't really drink. So I still have the bottle somewhere. Yeah, that was cool. He gave that to me, and it was really cool meeting those guys. I love the show. It's super funny. Anyway, I'll stop talking about it then. Yeah.
No, that's a cool story, man. Like I'm gonna have to check it out now. Like I always heard people say that it was up in my particular wavelength as far as comedy goes, but I just never got around to trying it. So
there's so many great comedy shows from like over the years. I mean, just in the last few, Silicon Valley, that was really funny. I thought. I don't know if you've seen that one. The IT Crowd or IT Crowd.
Oh, IT Crowd. Hell yes. Hell yes.
I discovered that like 2 years ago, I think, like just before the pandemic. And I'd never seen it before. And as immediately I got it, I was just like, oh my God, this is awesome. The What We Do in the Shadows, they made a TV show about that mockumentary movie. That's super funny. I've seen the first 2 seasons of that. Rick and Morty, that's hilarious, as well as being like just cool, weird Gonzo science fiction.
Yeah, that's going to have to come up next time. Rick and Morty is going to have to come up next time.
Yeah, we should totally. Yeah, next show should be about Rick and Morty because I just finished the 4th season like a week or 2 ago, and that's great. Can't wait for the 5th season. I just wait till they come on DVD, and then I buy the DVD, and then I watch it, and then I rewatch it. So I don't usually watch it as it comes out. on TV.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I should. I don't know. If I can't wait, then I'll see if I can find in the digital cable box, whatever, if you can find that show, wherever. Is it Cartoon Network? Is that where it comes on? Maybe.
I can't remember.
But yeah, it's a great show. So many good comedies.
I've only ever seen it on Hulu, so yeah, I don't know what station it comes on.
And then we've already talked about Seinfeld. Great show.
Seinfeld's pretty dang good. It's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
It's
not razzle dazzle, but
yeah,
it's a little drier. As I said before, subtle, but then I think Dolly Pop said no, it wasn't subtle, but I think yes, it is subtle. So
yeah, I think it's just older, and like because of that, it doesn't like take it's not as vulgar as what I'm used to.
Yeah,
I don't know that it's really aged. I just feel like it's just not as vulgar as what I'm used to nowadays, especially with Sunny and stuff like that.
That's true too. Yeah.
So Blaine says the PCs accidentally kill Santa and have to go on a quest to rescue the elves from Grinches.
Yeah.
That is.
What? You could just watch Teen Titans Go. I think by now Teen Titans Go has like 5 to 7 different Christmas-based episodes. They've got Easter. They've got Leprechaun Day. Whatever it's called. They've got Halloween.
Leprechaun Day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Irish, part Irish. I can say that.
You can say that.
You got red hair.
I'm Scottish. I'm not allowed to say that.
It's okay. Here's my incredibly hot take, and there'd be a jihad after me, depending on who heard it. But for me and most people in America, Ireland, Scotland, who cares? It's basically all the same thing.
We're basically the same.
I'm sorry.
No animosity.
You're all pretty much exactly the same to us. And I say that as being at least a quarter Irish.
Well, yeah, I don't know my percentages. I just know that Scottish, German, and Swedish or something like that. So it's Swedish or Swiss. I always get them. Think Swede. Yeah. Any Hoosers? I like that idea, Blaine. That actually makes me think a little bit of South Park, the episode of South Park where Santa's sleigh gets shot down by an RPG whenever he's trying to deliver Christmas to Iraq. Or it was Afghanistan. I think it was Afghanistan. And so then Jesus and the kids have to go in and rescue Santa from the terrorists. It's bad, but it's pretty funny. I have a twisted sense of humor. Dolly Pop says if you want to incorporate true deep evil, make the players listen to the Christmas Shoes. I don't know that song.
The Christmas Shoes?
No, Christmas Shoes. I feel bad because like now I want to play it so that we know what she's talking about. But Malaki says no, they have to figure out how to deliver all the presents without Santa's powers. But that would be too arduous to really translate. I feel like to the tabletop experience, unless like you're talking about maybe a local deity. Maybe Santa is like a local deity or something like that, and it's just delivering to the village, and like there's just that you have to worry about. If it was like because again, you have to think in terms of time constraints and how what exactly you're going to be highlighting and where the challenge is going to be and attention and all that kind of stuff. Malaki says you also have to figure in Kwanzaa Bot. I forgot about Kwanzaa Bot. I'm terrible.
Who's Kwanzaa Bot?
Kwanzaa Bot is from Futurama as well.
Oh, okay. There must be like some really good, awesome moments in that show because a lot of people I know love the show, quote all the time, try to get other people to watch it. I've tried to watch it on a number of occasions, and I just don't like it.
I get it.
I mean, I've seen a couple memes and whatever that I thought, like, oh, that's funny. But just as a show, maybe I'm just watching the wrong ones or catching it at the wrong time of the month. But I just don't get it. I've never liked Futurama, but I respect the opinion of people that do like it, because there are a lot of people I know and trust their opinion that do like it. It's just weird.
Yeah, the humor is very over the top in Futurama. So like if that could like grates on your nerves, then
like The Simpsons, because really all those animated shows I don't get, like why.
Well, I mean, it's made by
that
the same
highly
guy.
regarded or that funny. Like The Simpsons, I mean, even South Park, kind of funny because they ridicule certain people.
South Park is the holy grail to me, as far as that stuff goes.
What's that?
So South Park is the holy grail to me among animated comedies, just period. Mostly because like it straddles the line of having a plot that makes sense, it has strong coherence. It touches absurdity in just the right ways. It's deliciously offensive, and I love that.
I love that too.
While sometimes to its detriment, there are certain episodes I'm like, but for the most part, like to me, it's the holy grail. Like I'm dying to watch the more recent seasons because I haven't had access to it. So let's see. Santa Dragon be like, where all my hoes at?
Keep tweeting, everybody out there that's listening right now.
Santa Dragon.
Something with the hashtag Santa Dragon.
Yes.
Let's get this motherfucker trending.
Blackie says, so because of sanity rolls, Call of Cthulhu then. Yeah, I mean you could put incorporate sanity rolls quite easily. There's a I think there's a chart in here for like rolling different mental conditions that could be, procced and stuff like that. So make the Home Alone kid a goblin. Dolly Pop says. And yes. I'm tempted to say not a goblin because goblins are so damn easy to kill. And then it could be just over in a flash, really. Maybe I don't know, some kind of immortal that's childlike, maybe some kind of fey creature. I mean, like I know goblins and fey, blah blah blah, whatever. But I would be afraid to touch goblin because if you do that, then there's kind of the expectation that they're like like 1 or 2 hit die at the most, and all you need is a good surprise round, and that shit is over. Okay. Malaki says, damn it, Aaron, it's called creativity. Oh, what'd you say?
I said I'm tweeting about it right now.
Oh, okay. Nice. A goblin who just wants to be a dentist.
Yeah. Like that. Or, I mean, it could be elf too. What about an elf that doesn't want to practice magic or fight with a sword? He wants to, I don't know, be like, well, maybe being a rogue or being a thief would be kind of disreputable. I mean, if elves are kind of like fancy, highborn people like that, and then he was like, your elf character was like the scruffy, disheveled street bum that robbed people from time to time. That'd be cool because I'd be playing against type.
I like your comment. Every monster has a little pimp inside.
Yeah. Monsters can pimp. Just like demons can pimp.
Oh, good.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer again, and the demons are really cool that they present there, and they have like a style. I was just talking to my girls about this last night because we watched some more Buffy, and the demons not only that usually have a cool voice, because it's deeper, but in the way they speak, like they're in a bad Shakespeare play, but also the things they say. One quote was, "It's all exaggeration in blank verse." What did he say? Pain is bright as steel. Ethan Rain used that when he was describing demons and the way they talk. And that stuck with me. I was like, oh, that's a cool way of saying it. And I can kind of, in the abstract, understand what that means. But then seeing other demons in the episodes, I'm like, yeah, they all have like this manner of speaking, and they use like more old-fashioned words, and you can see that with like Doctor Who villains too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see like this monster saying, "Take me to your leader, home slice." He'll be like, "Take me to your leader." Speaking like that.
Bring me before like your headsperson.
Yeah. I want to see that head on a spike immediately. Something like that. Just the way they speak, but also the word choice is important. And that's one of the things that Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel got right too. They just got tonally things so good with the world building, but not going over the top, which they easily could have done. It's just a great show, great couple of shows. So if you guys haven't seen Buffy or Angel, I would highly recommend those two. Those are a big part of my youth in like the 90s and early 2000s.
I mean, I had a thing for I think her name is Allison Flanagan, maybe.
Is that you mean Willow?
Redheaded? Yeah. I had a thing for her because of American Pie.
Oh yeah.
But so
against another movie, or a TV show like comedy that she was in, How I Met Your Mother. That is I haven't comedy show.
I haven't watched it, but I saw little things with her in it, and I was like, that's my lady,
Last year we watched that. So in 2020, the older girls and Danielle and I watched the entire series of How I Met Your Mother. So that was really cool. They liked it a lot. They thought it was hilarious, and Danielle and I liked watching it again too because it was super funny. So yeah, if you haven't watched How I Met Your Mother, another great show, I highly recommend you see that.
That's becoming the new thing for this show is just a recommendation of various things that we like, that may or may not be connected to the topic at hand.
That's true. But that's one thing that every Christmas movie should have is a sense of humor. And some jokes. Should have some levity in there, because otherwise it's just like so stiff and formal. And then on top of that, you have the trappings of whatever season it is or holiday. So it needs some laughs. It needs to not take itself so seriously. Even if you don't do Gonzo, you don't have to do Gonzo everything like I do. Even if you're just playing it straight, you need some lighter moments in there. You don't necessarily have to build them in, but going into the adventure, Game Master wise, to get in the right headspace, I would go in more casual and more fun loving and try to be a little more spontaneous and less by the book, because otherwise, if this doesn't hit your audience quite right, your players, it can be kind of a slog, and they won't really appreciate it as much as they could have if you'd kept it light and fun and not brought it down with, a lot of exposition and got to do everything just so, let them cut corners and have some fun and laugh about it. Don't shy away from the comedy. That's just my advice.
Yep.
Yeah. And with that, actually, I should probably go. So it has been a pleasure having you listen to us. And thank you, Aaron, for having me again.
Definitely. We're way behind on comments, so I'm gonna try and run through the rest of those solo.
Definitely. Go for it.
But
right, see you guys.
See you later, bud. Okay, so just in time for me to go over a compliment. Vio says Aaron needs to stop losing weight or he's going to disappear. And Malaki says the beard looks good though. Y'all are awesome. Thank you. I probably am going to stop losing weight by pure accident, just because I'm not going to be able to keep it up forever. I do like the word goodery. I'm sorry. Goodery is a fantastic word and it perfectly exemplifies what I'm talking about. Do goodery. I like to be a goodery doer. Dolly Pop says, I want to go steal Christmas with my D&D group. Well, we're going to have to do that next year. I think we'll have to, cause like I said, I'm gonna have to run this thing again. Y'all can see the little thing. I'm gonna have to run that again this year to finish playtesting and get the module completed and see if I wanted to do like a Kickstarter to fund more art or whatever. But yeah. So maybe next year we'll do Christmas, steal Christmas with the D&D group. But like a Robin Hood scenario where we steal it from the rich and give it to the poor. I could go for that. If your orgasm lasts for more than 4 hours, seek medical help. See, it's been too long since that comment. I don't even know what the context is for that, but I want to say that that's good advice, people. You really shouldn't let an orgasm go for more than 4 hours without consulting medical attention. So you're welcome. I'm not a doctor, but I think that I am qualified to make that comment at least. Older one, he mentions X-Files in it. Oh, so that's talking about the Weird Al song. Wow, I am pretty dang far behind. My bad. Malaki says, I've seen a couple episodes of Workaholics, but thought it was okay. It is very okay. Chelsea, if you're still on this, you can jump on if you want and help me finish the comments and everything. Anywho's, let's see here. Jim Leiden says, gamers choose Christmas cookies from the DM that grant powers like a deck of many things, sometimes bad things. I love that. Just have I don't know if y'all ever get like the big tin full of, different cookie types or whatever, but like that would be a good way to go about it. It's like, assign a different number and then have them roll a die or whatever. Then it's like, oh, you got this one. So, you get that cookie and, whenever they choose to eat the cookie, it activates just like a potion or something like that. Your pretty face can go to hell is a good one. I'm not familiar with that song. Okay, so Rick and Morty is on Adult Swim, which is part of Cartoon Network. That sounds right. I knew that I didn't remember seeing the little Cartoon Network logo on it. But yeah, Adult Swim. That's what it's on. Stan versus Evil. Holy shit. How did I not mention Stan versus Evil? That's an awesome show. It's only like maybe 3 or 4 seasons. If anybody has ever watched Scrubs before, it has the guy that plays Dr. Cox, John C. McGinley, is the guy that plays Stan, and it's great. It's a great show. It's basically like a Monster of the Week style show, but it's a comedy, first and foremost. And it's like whenever the action moments happen, it's like B-movie quality stuff. So it's really glorious. I love it. Can I please be part of the Rick and Morty episode? You get my vote, but I'm going to have to ask the other fella. I know how to point in directions. I promise. It's just backwards. Venture might like Documentary Now. Documentary Now is pretty hilarious. So this is in reference to Scotland and Ireland. Nathan says they're both Gaelic-speaking peoples. That is true, but I don't think that negates the fact that they did want to do some serious harm to each other for a pretty decent amount of time. We're different, but we're the same. That is a reference to Auntie Donna. If anybody has Netflix and they want to watch something absurd that doesn't take very long, highly recommend Auntie Donna. It's Australian comedy, and it's really funny, in my opinion. Although we're different, but we're the same. I think that's one on their YouTube channel. So there's more to it. Robbie says maybe these two should just put on some Santa hats and sing a Christmas duet. It's too late. I'm sorry. He's gone now. I do have a Santa hat over there, but like my head's too big. I need a bigger one. Bender's Big Game is the best 4 episodes, and every D&D player needs to watch them at least once, preferably multiple times. I don't remember those episodes. Whenever I think like Futurama episodes that stick out to me, I think of I like the one where they're superheroes. I like the one with Slurms McKenzie, I think his name is, or whatever. Whenever they're going to the Slurm factory and it's like Willy Wonka. There's all kinds of really, really awesome ones. Sometimes it gets like serious though. Bob's Burgers is the most realistic, down-to-earth, and relatable animated series. You know, it kind of is, even though it is absolutely just beyond itself. The characters are just like the right kind of crazy. I just you love them. I mean, Bob is pretty damn basic, but Linda is a riot. Tina and I can't remember the other two's names. Tina's hysterical. Lots of mental conditions in the DMG, correct. So yeah, if you're ever interested, you know, Gary's got some stuff in here for people to call on mental conditions if you want to include some kind of sanity rolls. I mean, it's easy, you know, depending on what kind of edition you're going. You could easily do a save versus it just kind of depends. Save versus spell, you could do, if you're doing like Lamentations, you could do, I think it's just save versus magic is what that falls under. So I mean, you could just do saving throws, you could do percentage, chances, you could have some kind of stress sub system that you include, reminiscent of Darkest Dungeon or something like that. There's a lot of stuff you could do. You could just have them roll wisdom checks and then do modifiers based on their the severity of the situation or something like that. And then you have to think about what does it actually do mechanically whenever those things come into place. Sing Santa Baby, but sing Dragon in place of Baby. Santa Dragon. Oh man. So is the kid. He would have been easy to kill. He has a goblin tendency. Protect his nest. Yes. Feels like lumps of coal should be some cursed magic item. That would be brilliant. Okay. Malaki says, I can't tweet. I'm not on Twitter. You made it. You escaped. Possibly by never going there in the first place. Congratulations. You did it. Shout out to the Esoterica channel on YouTube. Good info. I will have to look it up. I'm not familiar with it. Wife is not happy that I said Allison Flanagan was a total bae. Don't worry. You get all the attention now. Don't worry. That was back then. Let's see. Have you guys seen Christmas with the Cranks? It is the best bad Christmas movie. I've only ever watched the Nostalgia Critic review with you. I don't think I've ever seen the real thing, but it does look pretty deliciously bad. Nathan says, would you care for some of my sample art and maps through your email? I happen to be an artist. I would be very happy to have a look. Yeah. This one right here was not inexpensive, but then again, like, he was great about like tweaking it to fit the image that I was going for and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and really, there's just kind of a certain style that I'm going for in particular. But I really love writing modules, and I would like to do more of them. So they'll be on varying scales of how much I'm willing to like commission art for it versus how much I want to just put it out into the ether for people to get to experience. Because above all, like, what good is it if people don't get to play it? So that's my thing. I guess I'm gonna pop him out of here. Whoop. Can I do that? No. Okay. I'm gonna put him back so that way you can see the background again. All right. Oh, Your Pretty Face Can Go to Hell is a TV show. I think I may have seen that on Adult Swim or something. It's live action, maybe, and kind of weird. A lot of the Scots came from Ireland. I went to American public school, and I went to American public school in the rural South. So when it comes to stuff that happened outside of America, I got a vague idea. Let's see. Louise and Jean. Okay, yeah, that's the brother and sister combo. Scots are Irish kicked out of Ireland. Well, I probably deserved getting kicked out. Coco B. Gorilla says Tales from the Dark Side old TV show had a great potential boss monster in Seasons of Belief, the Grither. Instead of killing families, maybe it kidnaps them, sets up for a rescue adventure. That could definitely be it. You always have to think about what kind of group you're working with. I mean, of course, we've already kind of established that this is good for primarily one shots or just single offshoots of an ongoing campaign or something like that. If you're doing a one shot, then it's super easy to motivate the players because it's like, that's the point. We're doing the one shot, and so you need to make your character to have this motivation. And that's really easy. Whenever it's kind of like an ongoing thing, it's a little bit different. If I'm doing really any kind of style adventure for Lamentations or for BX or anything that includes a system of get XP for retrieving, treasure, then I'm got to include treasure. That's just, it's got to happen. They have to have some kind of reason to, to survive and, like maybe flourish in some way. I guess it's not as big of a deal if it is a legitimate one shot, because then, I mean, they're not progressing anyway. Who cares? But yeah. So I guess it's the other side of the argument. Magic Christmas stockings. Christmas stocking of holding, stockings of speed. That could definitely be a way to go. Is there an email you want me to use? Okay, I will put my there you go. That's my business email. All right. Reindeer antlers of intellect. Okay. So since I have worked my way through the comments, I am going to just real quick, y'all. I'm just going to give y'all like, oh, I closed it. Dang. I'll just like talk about what I'm working on for the adventure real quick, because maybe you'll be interested. I don't know how I'm going to handle it. I don't know if I'm just going to do the whole thing myself and just have the cover art and, not really worry about art beyond that. And, just go ahead and get published and put it out there and see if people like it. Or if I'm going to do the whole Kickstarter style and, see if people are interested enough, then, I can commission some more art, make it real pretty, get some proper editing and formatting. I'm my degree's in English, so I'm already pretty solid when it comes to editing. But, So yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do there, but the general concept behind the whole thing is you can see the artwork there. You have this guy who's kind of like Santa Claus in some ways, but not quite. The whole adventure is about the players getting stuck in this town that is besieged by this man who wants to kill all these people that betrayed him. The player characters aren't going to know exactly what's going on because the villagers are going to be very tight-lipped about it. The whole thing about it is he's on a timeline. So I'm a very strong believer in timelines more so than I am in just predetermined set piece moments, if that makes sense. There's a very strong difference. So basically, you track the passage of time. Whenever they're going off and doing something, time is going to progress. And so basically the day that they get there is, the day the module starts. And throughout the evening, what's going to happen is they're going to have the opportunity to talk to some of the villagers and kind of learn a little bit about what's going on. They have the chance to learn about a recent death that somebody is mourning, and then some other people that are having particular issues. And if you can dig enough, you can eventually find out that there are some spirits that live in the woods that they will give extra attention to your crops and make sure that they flourish if you sacrifice someone to them every so often. And let's just say that the person that was sacrificed this last time was not incredibly willing to be sacrificed, and he survived. And because there was no actual sacrifice, because he survived, he has been filled with the powers of these creatures that live in the woods that are wanting to punish the villagers for breaking the cycle of sacrifices that they have done thus far. And so his job is to go around, get his vengeance on all of the villagers, fill his great big bag with their corpses, and just to get his delicious revenge on all those people. And so as you are having your nice evening in the village and all that kind of stuff, then there will be moments that all of a sudden a head is tossed through the window, kind of in a fashion not unlike Sleepy Hollow, if you've ever seen that movie. Something kind of like that. There's this guy who's out there, he's killing all these people. What are you going to do about it? You could be next. And if you step outside, well, there's a blizzard going on, and there are some serious weather effects that you might contend with. You might get hypothermia and all this kind of stuff. There are all these creatures out there that are part of his entourage that you can encounter, such as the Gremlins that I referred to before, that are honestly just really goofy little gremlin dudes. But you've got those. You've got Frosty the Stoned Man, who is, a super high as a kite snow man, basically. You've got these undead reindeer. You've just all kinds of weird stuff like that. And the whole thing is ultimately going to culminate in them fighting Chris Trollison, that guy who is going around murdering everybody. And he's a toughie. And even if you do kill him, if you do manage to kill him, it doesn't get rid of, the blizzard and all of the other things because of their source. They still want their sacrifices. And so then there can ultimately be a showdown with the Coven of Hags that you can deal with. That's how I have it now. And I really, whenever I did the play test, the players enjoyed it greatly, even though, we had some deaths. We had one death in that one, but we were running that. I adapted it to 5th edition for them because of the fact that they didn't really feel like learning another system. So for that one, I adapted it to 5th edition. And if y'all know 5th edition, it's pretty hard to die sometimes. So it's written for BX though. So it's probably a lot more likely that player characters are going to die. That all being said, I'm really excited about it. I think it's a lot of fun. There's another adventure that I have that is a lot more complete, has a ton of work in it. And that one, again, just needs art and better layout and stuff like that. That one I'm going to be trying to get that ready for next Halloween. That's the hope. But keep your eyes peeled, because I will probably be doing a playtest for this again. And if you're interested in, being part of it, then that'll be cool. I'll probably be doing it online. And then, just stay posted for if I decide to do a Kickstarter to make it more fancy and all that kind of stuff. Then, you can get in on that, or, maybe just be interested in it without all the fancy art. Either way, I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out. Next month, we're going to do sci-fi. So that's a huge gamut of things, a lot of stuff to talk about there. And, sci-fi is really up in our bag. We just didn't want to ignore Christmas. I mean, come on, it's December. Who knows if we're ever going to have another Gonzo up your ass in December? There's no way of telling. So thank y'all for hanging out, and y'all take it easy. Peace.